What's going on, guys? MJ300 here, and welcome to a brand new episode of our Arsenal Road to Glory series. So we are now into year number 3 after completing the first 2 seasons, and what a first 2 seasons that has been. If you haven't checked out the videos, make sure you go back and check them on the channel. But in year number 1, we were successful in winning the Premier League and also the Europa League. And then year number 2, it was even better. We won the Premier League, we won the FA Cup, and we won the Champions League. Now, the whole point of this series was to do a 5-year series where we could hopefully grow a team to become champions of Europe. I've obviously already achieved that goal after year number 2, so now that basically means that for the next 3 years we're just going to see if we can turn this Arsenal side into a real dynasty. See if we can win ourselves another Premier League, maybe another Champions League as well. So if you are a fan of FIFA Let's Plays and other sports and video game related content, please consider subscribing to the channel. And we're going to jump into year number 3 now. This video will be looking how we can improve the squad, getting through pre-season, getting through the start of the first few games of the season as well, probably all the way up to transfer deadline day. So just a quick reminder of the squad that we have at the moment. So at the moment we have Leno in goal, we have Tierney, Ake, Kimpembe, Bellerin, Neves, Ceballos, Saka, Brandt, Pepe and Aubameyang. Players kind of backing up in those relevant positions. We've got Saliba holding Demirel as centre-backs. We've got Gaia, Klosterman as the full-backs. We have Guendouzi and Torreira in central midfield. Trincao and Martinelli as wingers. Lamar at the number 10 and Lacazette up front. So there were a couple of positions that I think we can look to improve. Now, the first one was going to be up top. Aubameyang is now 32 years old, and therefore my original plan was to play with him for the first 2 years and then look to move him on. But he is still 86. I mean, he's dropped a couple. He was 88. He's gone down to 86, but he's still banging in the goals. He's still really, really good for us. So I think what I'm going to look to do actually is move on Lacazette. Because he's just not as good. He's 84 overall. He's also 30 years old now. So I'm going to move on Lacazette. We're going to buy a better striker to be first choice. And then him and Aubameyang can play together. And then when Aubameyang maybe looks to retire next year, we'll look to move Martinelli into the forward position. Because Martinelli, even though he's a winger, you can see down there, his shooting is 81. He's got really good shot stats. Look at that, 91 finishing. So I think he'll actually more than be capable of playing up top, which then means we can bring in another winger as well. Maybe we can look to bring back Serge Gnabry, which we tried to do in year number 2, but that wasn't possible. In addition to up front, I think we need to bring in a second goalkeeper because Leno obviously has been amazing for us and he'll continue to be first choice. But if anything does happen to him, we only have Martinez as a 77 overall, so it's not really good enough. We do need to look to bring in a more capable backup just in case. You know, touch wood, first 2 years, Leno has been injury free, but obviously that could change at any point. And if we're not in the middle of a transfer window, we could be in big trouble. And then last but not least, the last position I'd be looking to add would be into central midfield. Now, I really like Ceballos, I really like Neves, and I like Torreira, but I've just not really kind of got to grips with using Guendouzi. I don't think he really plays that well. Now, I could look to keep him maybe in place of the younger Willock who we have in there. But, I mean, if he's going to be 5th choice in the central midfield, he's not going to play many games and he's just going to get unhappy. Look, you can see he's already unhappy. So I might look to move on Guendouzi and bring in another central midfielder. Okay, so with those positions in mind, these are the players that I am looking to scout and potentially bring in. In goal, we've got Strakosha here from Lazio, 85 overall, 26 years old. We have Perrin, who is 84 overall at 28 years old. Gnabry we've still got there because we obviously scouting him from last year. It looks like we can buy him now, but he would cost probably upwards of 80 million. In central midfield, we've got Van der Beek there from Ajax, or Barella from Calgary. And up top, we've got a few options. We've got Dybala, who is more of a number 10 than a striker, but could do a job from Juventus. We've got Haaland from Dortmund, and we've got Jovic from Real Madrid. So there's all the players we're looking to scout, and we'll make decisions before the start of the season which one we're going to bring in each position. I should show you our budget for the season as well. You can see we have £200 million. So even though those players are going to cost us upwards of 50, 60 million maybe each, we still have more than enough money. Okay, so we have some prospects here that have come up to the senior squad from the youth squad, all of them with potentials of upwards of 90, but their overalls are just not high enough that we're going to be using them at the moment. So I'm sending them all out on loan. We've got a number 10 there of Tavares, who's a 62, another number 10, a 63, another left back who's 67, and a centre back 63. So you can see not bad ratings, but not good enough to be playing in the Premier League. Makes sense if we can get them out maybe into League 1, League 2, something like that, and get them some minutes and hopefully see some growth. Okay, so here we go. Our first pre-season game of the season is up against Melbourne City. So with that in mind, we're going to give a few fringe players a chance to see if they can perform in pre-season here. It's all about just getting players some minutes. Hopefully we'll get ourselves a win as well, and we do. We win 4-0. Holding, Torreira, Smith Rowe and Ketia all on the score sheet. Okay, so here we go. We have had an offer in for Alex Lacazette, who, as I mentioned, we may look to move on in place of a new striker that we're going to sign. Been offered 31.9 million from AS Monaco, so sending him back to France. Now, that's less than what he's worth. I would like to get quite a bit more than that, so I'm delegate out and see. I think the minimum I would take is 33 million, so we'll go 33 to 36, see whether or not they accept that. In addition, we've had an offer in here for Martinez for 6 million, which is basically his value. To be honest, I'm just going to accept that. And our second preseason game is up against Porto, so we will put a slightly stronger team out for that one. We'll go with our second choice 11 because, you know, Porto is not going to be an easy game. We want to make sure we advance here into the next round, get as many preseason games as possible, and we win 4-0. Although Demiral's picked up an injury, hopefully nothing too serious. Lamar, Martinelli, Trincao and Torreira all on the score sheet. Okay, so Demiral is injured. He's out for 6 weeks, which is not too bad. He should be back just about in time for the start of the season, so no need to rush out and go and buy a new centre-back just yet. And we've had a loan offer in here for Guendouzi from Valencia. Now, I was going to sell him, but I suppose a loan wouldn't be too bad because we're not going to be using him, so we could grow him and, you know, if he comes back as an 85 and maybe he'll be a little bit better to use, you know what? Yeah, I'll accept that. Like I said, it just gets him the minutes. And if he can come back and be a little bit better, then we can try him in pre-season. If it doesn't work out, then we'll sell him for more than we would have this year. Okay, so we've had confirmation that Martinez has indeed been sold for that 5.9 million. So it adds an extra 4.3 to our budget and means we need to go and sign. So with that in mind, I figured I might as well do this right now. So we've got 2 options here that I've scouted. We've got Perrin, who's an 84 and 28, only going to cost us about 20 million. He's in the last year of his contract. Or we've got Strakosha there from Lazio, very good goalkeeper, 26 years old, higher overall. Now I think because I want to stick with Leno, this guy's more going to be a backup. He's only going to play a handful of games. I don't really want to go for someone too high rated because they're just going to end up getting pissed off. Perrin is obviously already behind Szczesny at Juventus anyway, and therefore he's used to the backup role. I think he's going to be the right option to go with. Hopefully with that rating, we should be able to get him to accept a rotation role as well. So I'll jump in here now and see if we can get him signed. So I started off by offering 22 million, just slightly above his value. Like I said, he is in the last year of his contract, so I don't expect we'll have to pay too much more than that. And they want 24 million. We negotiated down to 23 and a half, and they've accepted that now. So that's good. We can bring in Perrin to Arsenal, a much better backup than we had in Martinez before. Okay, so good start was he was happy to accept the rotation role and a full year contract. Now, I'm going to try and save a little bit on his wages because I just don't feel right about paying 100 grand to a backup keeper. So I'm going to try and sweeten the deal by giving him a nice signing bonus here of £1 million to go over 60,000 contract. What does he say? No, he wants more than that. I thought he might do. Could be to get him to agree at 70,000. And he wants 73. You know what? I'm happy with that. It's only an extra couple of thousands. We're a couple of years in now, so everything is a little bit more inflated. Perrin, welcome to Arsenal. A very good backup keeper for us to have to be using in the cup games and also in the event that Leno ever gets injured. Okay, so here we go now. Our final preseason game in the group stage up against Athletic. We are going to give Perrin his debut here in this game to see if he can get himself a win. He does. No clean sheet, unfortunately, but Arsenal do win 2-1. Lacazette and Trincao on the score sheet. Okay, so we've had confirmation that Guendouzi has indeed gone out on loan. So he's gone to Valencia, so he'll be playing this season in La Liga. Okay, so with Guendouzi on his way to La Liga for the season, I figured we should use this now as an opportunity to bring in the central midfielder that we're going to go for. And it is between these two players. I've just been having a look at their stats to see who is the right player to go with. And I think it comes down to what kind of player we want. So Van der Beek obviously has the higher overall, and with that, the higher price tag, he's going to cost 50 odd million, whereas Weller will be nearer 40. As I mentioned, money's not necessarily an issue, but Van der Beek, if you look at him, he's more attacking minded. So you can see there, he's got really high attacking position, and he's actually a good finisher of the ball, and he's got a good shot. Barella, he's not as good attacking, but he is much better defensively. You can see there, his interceptions are much higher. His tackling is really good. His passing is really good. And he is a good dribbler and he has got good control, but his actual shooting is pretty poor. So I think what it comes down to is Van der Beek is more of an attacking midfielder, could maybe even go in at number 10 as well, whereas Barella is more of a box-to-box midfielder. So thinking about what we've got at the moment, we've got Torreira, who's more defensively minded. We've got Ceballos, who's more attacking minded. And we've got Neves, who is a box-to-box player. So I think it makes sense to go with with Barella for 2 reasons. One, because he's that little bit cheaper. 1, defensive, and 2, box-to-box players. Van der Beek, I mean, he's still young. We could potentially bring him in at the number 10 position, but obviously we already have Lamar and Brandt there, so we don't really need any help in there. So yeah, Barella, I think, is the option I'm going to go with. So I've gone straight in here offering 40 million, see what they say, and wow, they've come back with 54 and a 10% add-on. That's a lot, but if they want that much for him, imagine how much they would want for Van der Beek. So I'm going to drop that back down to 47.5. I'll keep the sell on, see if they want that. Nope, they're sticking to their price tag. I want to try and get it done for under 50 if I can. So we'll keep negotiating, see if there's any wiggle room there. Look like they're pretty adamant they're sticking to that 54 million. Last chance of getting it in at under 50. Can we do it? And we can. 49 million. That is a lot of money, especially for someone who's not necessarily going to be first choice, but he will be a good option off the bench. Okay, so here we go. We've got him an important role of 4 years, and he wants 95,000. He wants to more than double his wages. So I'm going to bring that down, go with 75,000 a week, but a nice 1.25 signing on fee. And he wants 80. I'm happy to give him 80. So we've got another signing in the door. Okay, so here we are now, semi-finals of the Invitational Cup in pre-season, up against Ajax. So we haven't played our first team yet in pre-season, so I figured now would be a good time. Ajax is obviously a very good side. Let's see if we can get past them though. And we do, we win 2-0. Lacazette coming off the bench and scoring, showing Ajax what he can do, which is always good because the more teams that come in for him, the better. And Pepe also on the score sheet as well. Okay, so we've just heard back from Monaco. They don't want to pay the price tag for Alex Lacazette, so maybe we did set it a little bit high. Hopefully we'll get another offer in for him before the end of the window, and then we can look to bring in a replacement striker. But in the meantime, we'll jump into this game here now, the final of the Invitational Cup against Athletic Club Perin, and the second 11 playing again, and we win. Martinelli scoring 2, Neves getting the 3rd, and Arsenal start off pre-season in the perfect way. So we just had an offer in here for a loan deal for Blondo, who is our prospect goalkeeper, and I just thought I'd laugh because I tried to get Sheffield United to pay all of his massive £450 a week salary, and they're saying they can't afford it. Apparently they can't afford an extra 225 quid a week, but there we go. Don't really matter. That would be good for him. I think he's got a potential of like 94 overall, so it'd be good to see him grow, and maybe he even could come into the team for year number 5. Okay, so here we go. We are at the official curtain raiser for the season, which is the FA Community Shield. Arsenal are up against Liverpool. Obviously, Arsenal in it as both the Premier League winners and the FA Cup winners, which does mean that the team they face ends up being the team that finished second in the Premier League, Liverpool. Because it is just a pre-season, we are going to simulate this. We will play the UEFA Super Cup, which will be coming up very shortly as well. So we'll jump into this now, simulate it, going with our first team, because it would obviously be nice to get a win if we can. And we do. We win 2-1. Kimpembe and Brandt with the goals. Fabinho scored a penalty. Neves has got himself injured. Please don't be too serious. And he's out for 2 months with a broken ankle. Oh, we've just loaned out Ganduzi as well, so we might need to look to call him back because that is very, very unfortunate. August and September he's going to be missing now. So what it does mean though is that Barella does have an opportunity to go into that first team, get some good minutes and see how he can perform. Okay, so here we go now. Up to the first game of the Premier League season, and we are away to West Ham. So a nice London derby to kick off our title defence. We're obviously going to be going with our first choice 11, which currently looks like this. It is Leno in goal, Tierney, Saliba, who has now been promoted to that first team, along with Kimpembe and Bellerin at the back. Barella comes in for the injured Neves alongside Ceballos, Saka, Brandt and Pepe, and Aubameyang still continues up top. So let's see if we can start the season with a win. Can we get it done? And we do, and Aubameyang on the score sheet. Again, like I said, 32 years old, but he's still scoring goals all the time. Pepe and Ceballos got the other 2. Haller for West Ham, 3-1. Really good start to the season. Okay, so here we go now. This is the UEFA Super Cup final. Obviously, as the winners of the Champions League from last season, we go up against the winners of the Europa League in Paris Saint-Germain. Now, we have an opportunity to retain this trophy because we did win it last year as the winners of the Europa League. So I don't think there's probably many teams that have necessarily retained this trophy before. So really good chance to jump in here now and see if we can get that done. We're going to go with our strongest team, I think, because it's the start of the season. You know, it is a final. It'd be nice to get the win. So the only change there is Torreira comes in for Ceballos because he actually picked up a suspension apparently from the Champions League final. I don't know how that works, but there we go. So that is the team. Let's jump into this now and see if we can start the season with a trophy. So I figured we'd have a look at the Paris Saint-Germain team, see how they're looking in year number 3. And to be honest, it looks like a very good side. They've got Navas in goal, Albert left back, Sule Dalo in the middle, Alonso at right back, Herrera and Verratti in the middle, Di Maria and Neymar on the wings, and Mbappe and Poulsen up top. So yeah, like I said, very good team, a lot of pace, a lot of skill. Going to be difficult, but when it's Arsenal, I always am confident. Brandt into Torreira, found some space to hit one, and Navas spills it. But Alonso gets it away. Here's Di Maria inside to Herrera. It's gone inside to Neymar, back to Herrera. Shoots, but it's easy for Leno. Barella sets off Pepe. He'll go into Aubameyang. Aubameyang cut back to Pepe. And one more now to Brandt. And can he finish? Oh, and Navas saves. Such pace on the counter-attack from Arsenal. Just not enough power on the finish. Tried to slide it in. Here is Brandt. He finds Aubameyang. He finds Brandt again. And this time, Arsenal do take the lead after 18 minutes. It's that combination again. Julius Brandt and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. They team up so well. That's why I'm reluctant to replace Aubameyang as the first choice forward. They're just so good together. Another 1-2. And Arsenal lead 1-0. Here is Poulsen now. He's found himself some space, but Saliba out well to block. Corner comes in from Neymar. Leno does well to get it away. And it's hit. First time, and it's just about saved by Leno. What a hit that was from Herrera. Look at this. On the volley. And Leno somehow just about gets it over the bar. Here is Brandt now. Looking for the run there of, who is that? It's Tierney. He'll find Aubameyang in the middle. Oh, it's a poor pass. But he'll go back to Tierney. And Pepe. Saka. Brandt. Barella. It's a great ball out wide to Pepe. Pepe will use his pace now. Cut back inside. A little bit of skill. And now we'll look to Ben one, but it's high and wide. And there goes the halftime whistle. Arsenal go in with a slender advantage at halftime, leading 1-0. Thanks to that combination of Aubameyang and Brandt up top. But Paris Saint-Germain, they've looked dangerous on the break. They've had a couple of chances, maybe the better of the chances. But we've also had chances to score, to extend our lead as well. Try and find that second goal in the second half. Here is Saka now. He'll cut it back now to Aubameyang. Can he finish? Oh, that's missed. How has that missed? I was just waiting for the net to rustle there. Okay, so 3 substitutions here now, just over half an hour to play. Trincao, Lamar and Martinelli coming on for Saka, Brandt and Pepe. Lamar. He's found Trincao out wide. He's got loads of space now. Just got to pick the right move. Cut back. Look for the approaching run. Can't find it, but he'll find Martinelli. Oh, what a hit first time, but well saved Navas. Here comes in the ball now into Mbappe. Leno just about gets there. Trincao heads to the corner. Can he use his pace? He can. Just needs to find a pass or keep it. Is he going to keep it? No, he looks for Aubameyang. And Aubameyang again. And Navas is there in the way. But I don't think it will matter. That is the full-time whistle. And Arsenal with just the 1 goal today, but it was enough. Julian Brandt after 19 minutes. We had some good chances in the second half there on the counter-attack, but Navas in goal played really well, kept Paris Saint-Germain in it, and there was a couple of nervy moments, but for the most part, I remained confident throughout that we were going to win. And there is the Super Cup from UEFA. Arsenal retaining it again after winning last year. We are just winning every trophy on hand at the moment. Winning this 4 trophies last season, including this and the treble. Winning this again, winning the Community Shield. It's an addiction. And Aubameyang lifts the trophy. Great start to the season. Hopefully a sign of things to come for Arsenal Football Club. Okay, so after that game, Paris Saint-Germain must have been incredibly impressed with Lucas Torreira's performance, because they've now submitted a transfer bid of £58.3 million for the young Uruguayan. He is now an 85 overall. We could get as much as 80 million for him. So obviously very, very good money, but he's just so good for us. He's a really good option to have in midfield, really solid, an important part of the squad. So I am going to go ahead and reject that for now. Okay, so Premier League now, week number 2, we have a home tie against Sheffield United. Obviously, I could look to rotate it, but it's so early on in the season, it seems a little bit unnecessary. So we go with our strongest team again against Sheffield United, and we win 2-0. Aubameyang and Saka both on the score sheet. And of a clean sheet, that is 6 points from 6. Okay, so we had another offer in this time from Lazio for Lacazette, only for £27 million. The problem is, since we rejected that last offer, he's actually dropped by an overall, so his value has gone down even further. So that is a little bit annoying that we didn't accept the 32. I don't think we're going to be able to get that now. I think I'm going to accept this offer, but I am going to just go in and negotiate with them and see if we can get a little bit more money. So I'll show you that in just a second. Okay, so there we go. We've managed to get them to accept on a deal there of £30 million. So it actually ends up being 2.7 less than we would have got from Monaco before, but there we go. It's unfortunate that he has dropped an overall. Hopefully he'll agree a contract with Lazio now and allow him to move on. So with that in mind, and the fact that Lacazette is going to be going, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go and try and sign a striker now, and then I'll give him a debut here against City. So let's jump into the transfer hub here and decide who we're going to be going with. So we have got the 3 options here. So we've got Dybala, who, as I mentioned, is more of a number 10, but still has very good finishing. You've got 87 finishing, 84 shot power, 86 long shots. We've got Haaland here, who would actually only cost us £38 million because he's got a release clause, even though he's already an 84 and worth a lot of money. He has 90 finishing with 92 shot power and 86. Or we've got Jovic, who's an 87 and only a release clause of 63 million. So really good value for him there. And he has the best finishing there, 92, 86 and 81. So looking at the 3 of them, I mean, Haaland is obviously amazing value, but I don't want to really exploit that. And he has only recently moved to Dortmund. Dybala would be nice, but he is older. And so he would be 30 by the end of our career mode here, and don't want him to be dropping. So I think I'm going to go with Jovic because he's linked to Arsenal in real life. So there's a little bit of realism there. And he's got the best shooting out of the 3 of them. And at the end of the day, if you're getting in a striker, that's what we want them for. We want them to be able to score goals at the same rate that Aubameyang's been doing for us. So I think Jovic is the right one to go with. We obviously would just pay that release clause, which is really, really cheap. And now we'll go and negotiate with him. Right, so now we need to work out what he's going to want salary-wise, which is really difficult because he's on a Real Madrid wage, which is already massively inflated. And therefore, we will be able to get him for less than what he's on. Now, I'm trying to think what we were paying Aubameyang. I think it's about 150,000 or something like that, maybe 140,000. So we'll go in with this here. We'll offer him a 2 million signing bonus and 150,000. And we'll see what he says to that. And he accepts it. So actually, we might have overpaid just a little bit there, unfortunately. Hopefully, it's still within our wage structure. It's not going to make people unhappy, but welcome to Arsenal, Jukovic. Jovic goes straight into the first team. I've given him the number 9 shirt, which Lacazette will shortly be vacating. And we're going to give him a start here against City. Obviously, not the easiest game for him to have his first Arsenal game away to Manchester City, but I'm really excited to use him here, see how he performs, see how he plays. Obviously, he's not as quick as Aubameyang, but we've already got pace around him with Saka, Brandt and Pepe. So hopefully he can get himself a goal here on debut and help us to another 3 points. Just to show you the team we're going up against, they've got Edison in goal, they've got Gundogan at left back. So him against Pepe will be interesting. Laporte and City, Cancelo in the rest of the defence. Rodri, Sol and De Bruyne in the midfield, and Silva, Sterling, Jesus up top. So no new additions there, but still obviously a very good team. Here is Pepe now, up against Gundogan, as we mentioned. Really easy to get past him. In the box towards Jovic. Oh, almost a perfect start for Luka Jovic. Cross was just a little bit too high for him. Couldn't quite get up. Actually comes off his shoulder. It's Barella, into Brandt, into Pepe. Jovic, Pepe. Brandt's through the middle. Is he in here? He is in. Can he now get it past Edison? He can. And Arsenal lead 1-0 at the Etihad. It just seems to become a reoccurring theme with this Arsenal team. Counter-attacking at pace with great effectiveness. Once again, City, we picked the ball up just inside our own half. And a few passes there with Pepe sending Brandt away. And he was through on goal and was never going to miss. It's 1-0 to Arsenal. Here is Bernardo Silva into Sol. Good save, Leno. That was hit with real venom. Pepe into Brandt. Jovic looking for the help there. It's come from the former Barella. He skips past Gundogan. Can he stand up to the back post? Brandt's there. Oh, it's off the bar. So close to extending their lead, Arsenal. Barella, good turn back there. Pepe and Brandt. Can he finish? He can. It's clinical from Arsenal once again. And on the stroke of half-time, they double their lead. Pepe and Brandt combining. And there goes the half-time whistle. So that was pretty much the last piece of action from the first half. And Arsenal go in with a really convincing 2-0 advantage. You can see there, obviously, Brandt hit the bar as well. Could have almost had his hat-trick. But he's such a good player. I honestly think he might be the best signing I've ever made in an Arsenal career mode. He just plays so well. And here's the difference between the two teams. City, they've looked a little bit dangerous at times, but only really troubled Leno the one time. Just got to hold on now for 45 more minutes. Oh, and here comes City again with Sol and De Bruyne and Jesus. Don't know why he's shooting from there. Easy for Leno. Ceballos into Tierney, into Saka. Ceballos, he'll lay it off to Brandt. Can he score his hat-trick here? That's really poor. Here is Pepe. Feeds it into Brandt. On Jovic, is this his chance? No, it's blocked, but Pepe's there to finish off the rebound. And Arsenal are running riot here against Man City. Jovic involved. Could have scored his first goal for Arsenal. Instead, ends up being an assist. Pepe in the right place at the right time. Really good play from Brandt again. Look at that. Great back heel. And it's really unfortunate from, I think it's Laporte who gets the block in. It falls straight to Pepe. 6 yards out, not going to miss from there. 3-0. Gundogan gets the cross in, but it's too close to Leno. Oh my God, what an error that is. How has that even happened? Leno tries to kick it upfield. It goes off the back of Kimpembe and falls straight to Rodri. Or Banega, sorry. If I wasn't already 3-0 ahead, I'd be absolutely raging right now. Look, watch this. So try to kick it. Goes straight against Saliba. Falls to Kimpembe. He then passes it straight to Banega. And then he taps it in. What a calamity from Arsenal. Oh, great flick, Pepe. Here comes Bellerin now. Arsenal, so many men forwards. What a cross that is. Oh, and it's away. But that should be it now. And it is. Arsenal hold on for a victory at the Etihad. Really well played. Damage done in the first half. Unfortunate that we threw away the clean sheet in the manner we did. But you can hear from the boos that City are definitely not happy with this result. And Arsenal, and that man there, Julian Brandt, leading his team to victory. 3-1 at the Etihad. That is 3 wins from 3 and 9 points. Okay, so after that game, we have had confirmation that Lacazette has indeed been sold. He's gone to Lazio for £30 million, gives us an extra 25. Okay, so next up, we have a cup game here, the Carabao Cup, round number 2, away to Crystal Palace. So obviously an opportunity to rotate it around. This is the team we're going to go with. We're going to have Perrin, Gaia, Saliba, Holding, Klosterman. We're going to Willock, Torreira, Trincao, Smith Rowe, Nelson and Nketiah up top. It's a good chance for some of the youngsters to get a game here. Away to Palace. Would expect us to get a win. Can the boys get it done? They haven't had a good start to the season, have Palace? And we do, but only just. Look at that. 1-1, and then we win 4-3 on penalties. And actually, Palace missed a penalty. Oh, actually, it says he missed a penalty, but then they also scored at the same minute. So maybe it was a rebound, I don't know. But Nketiah scored for us, and we scraped through. Okay, so that seems like a good time to leave that video there. We are just approaching the end of August now. We've had a really good start to the Premier League season. 3 wins out of 3. Arsenal up top there with Newcastle and Spurs as the other teams with a 100% record. We've done our transfer business early, which is good. We've won the UEFA Super Cup. We've won the Community Shield. So really good start to the season for Arsenal. Make sure you come back. Make sure you come and check out the next video where we will finish transfer deadline day. I don't think we need to make any additions. That's the squad we have there. First 11 and second 11 with a few youngsters on the fringes as well. So I don't think we need any additions, but obviously if you've got any suggestions, let me know. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please consider subscribing if you haven't already done so and give the video a thumbs up. But for now, thank you very much for watching, everyone. I will see you all next time.